Ew, I hate myself. Especially this side of myself. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim Santos if you're new, and also if you're new, hit the subscribe button. So today's video is going to be my do's and don'ts to my personal makeup routine. Things that I like to do when I'm doing my makeup to give me a more neutral, natural look, and things that I like to avoid and I don't do at all in my routine. A lot of these makeup don'ts I learned from doing my makeup in the past. I've learned from my mistakes. This is all stuff that I do. You don't have to follow it. Some of the things that I do, you might think, why would you do your makeup like that? Or maybe some of my makeup don'ts you do, but that's fine because maybe they look amazing on you, but they just don't look good on me. Regardless of, makeup is for everyone. You do what you want. If you want to put 100 layers of lashes, foundation, lipstick on your face, go ahead. People did in the past for makeup trends. So now I'm gonna shut up with that little rant and we're gonna get started and start doing my do's and don'ts to makeup. So the first thing I do to my makeup is pin my hair out of my face. Sometimes I don't, but it's recommended. Just because foundation will get into your hair and I have so much hair. This shit needs to be pushed back. So my skin is dry, kind of combination, but more on the dry side. I get really oily in my T-zone, but that's a lot of people. And the first step to amazing makeup is taking care of your skin. If your skin looks like shit and you don't take care of it, your makeup's gonna look exactly the same. So obviously when you do your makeup, clean your skin, wash your face, cleanse it, you use all your toners, your normal skincare routine, and then use a moisturizer. Moisturizer is very important when you're doing your makeup. I'm just using my Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizer. I'm gonna be putting it on this side of my face. This is going to be the do's, and this is gonna be the don'ts. But yeah, so I'm just moisturizing this side of my face. I like to go down my neck as well. Moisturizing is also very important because it adds like an extra layer between your skin and the makeup. So it helps the makeup not get into your pores and clog it as much if you were just to go straight with foundation. So on the don't side of my face, I'm gonna put absolutely nothing. I haven't moisturized this area of my face. It's just gonna stay dry. And I can already feel this side of my face really dry and cracky, especially on like this perimeter, like the side areas of my face. So it might get flaky and just, it won't look as good as the moisturizing side. So the next thing after I moisturize is primer. A lot of people don't believe in primer. A lot of people do. I do believe in it. I use it. I think it works. Some people don't see a difference, which is okay. You know, so I don't use primer every single day. And a lot of people who don't use primer, they still moisturize their skin, so that's good. Maybe they just need to moisturize their skin, they don't need to put a primer. But when I do my makeup and I want my skin to look good, I don't want my pores to be emphasized, I don't want the texture of my face to be popping out, especially if I have acne. I want something that's pore filling, even though I have dry skin, but that doesn't mean I don't want the moisture to be taken out of my face by using a silicone-based primer. That's why I always moisturize and then go in with a smoothing primer. So I really like the Makeup Forever pore filling primer. It's this smoothing base from their Skin Equalizer collection. So I just put a pea-size amount and I'm just gonna focus this right here. Like, I don't know, I feel like swiping motions are really good. I like to go under the eye too. Everyone has eye wrinkles. They just get worse and worse with age. So now I have my primer, my moisturizer on, and nothing on this side of my face. And I can honestly already tell this is gonna go downhill for sure on the don't side. So personally, in my routine of makeup, I always do my eyeshadow first. This is just to avoid fallout. I feel like, for me, eyeshadow takes the longest, so I just wanna get that step out of the way. But before I do that, I like to do my brows because I want them shaped and carved out. So we're gonna do the brows next. I hate doing eyebrows. Eyebrows is the makeup step that I hate the most. It's so time consuming and I suck at eyebrows. End of story, I suck at eyebrows. So I'm gonna give you an honest and real tip on doing your eyebrows. Don't try to manipulate them. Follow your natural shape. That's what you were born with, so work it. But if you want to shape your brows and make them look completely different, do that because you probably have the skills to do that and I don't. So when doing your brows, you should always brush the hair up because when you brush it down, it looks just awkward. Go with where your natural hair follows. I have very coarse eyebrow hair, like it's thick. So when you have thicker eyebrows, if you want more of a natural feathered brow, your best bet is to use a brow pencil. Make little strokes, little lines, and just follow my natural brow. Doing these little lines is mimicking little brow hairs while filling your brow. And always make sure to brush it too with the other side if it has a spoolie. And now I'm gonna show you what you should not do when you're doing your eyebrows. So using pomade in your brows, as I'm doing right now, I feel like some people can go too heavy-handed with the pomade where it just looks like your brow is one solid color. And there's no shape to the brow. It literally looks like a block brow. So these are my two brows. I just filled it in with this product. There's no feathering, there's no ombre effect. It is just my brow, a solid brow. Now, could this brow be better? Yes, but as I said, I hate doing my eyebrows because I don't know how to do them for shit. So I'm trying. But like, you have to admit, that looks rough. So the next thing I do after my brow is I like to prime my eyelids with concealer. And then while I do that, I kind of carve out the underneath of my brow a bit. Now, some people don't prime their eyelid when they go in with eyeshadow, which I'm gonna do exactly that. That's a don't. You should always prime your lid for shadows. The shadows will stick better to your eyelid and the colors will look more vibrant. Plus, you won't have that slip and slide and they won't fade. If you have oily eyelids and you just go on with the shadow, it's gonna disappear. It's gonna be eaten by the oil from your skin. I'm just using my LA Girl HD concealer. What's nice about this concealer, it precisely has like this fine tip on it. So it's nice to go underneath the brows with and carve them out. Now I'm just gonna pat that in with this like flat foundation brush. And then I'm gonna set it with some setting powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent. I'm just setting that whole area. Like, as you can see, this makes the brow look so much better when you carve it out. When you just clean up underneath it, like if there's any staining with the brow products used before, it just makes everything look so sharp comparing to this. So now I'm gonna be doing eyeshadow for the do side. The most important thing when doing eyeshadow, your transition shade. Right now in my hand, I have MAC Soft Brown. This is probably my favorite transition shade in the world and the one I've used the longest. I've used this for years now. So many different brands, eyeshadow palettes carry one. I really like this one just because it's what I started off with when I started like playing with makeup. And what these colors are is it's your eyeshadow base. It's the color that you should always start off with. You should always work your shadows from lightest to darkest. So this is a light crease color. These kind of shades go into your crease, so once you put darker shades, it helps the other shades blend out better. If you were to go straight with like a dark brown or a black eyeshadow with no transition shade on it, it would look very harsh. These colors are used to blend out and smooth out shadows, so they look more subtle and, of course, blended. So I'm just taking soft brown, and I'm putting this all in my crease, and I'm just dusting it lightly. It just adds like a soft color into it. I always just focus this all over this area. It's very important to put this color into your crease because this is gonna help soften the darker shades and use circular motions when I'm blending this shadow. So now I'm taking a bit of a little bit of a darker shade of brown, and I'm focusing that on the outer V because I wanna do a really neutral, smoky eye. I'm really focusing that on the outer corners, like that V shape of your eyelid. Just dabbing that on, dab, 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 dab. I just keep blending it with circular motions like you're just wiping your car. You're just scrubbing it with a sponge. So do you see how I went from that transition color? You can see that right in the crease, and then I focused that little bit of a darker shade right there as well. Now I'm gonna show you what it would look like if you don't use the transition shade and you just go in with that dark shadow already, okay? I have no primer on, nothing on my eyelids. And just look at that difference. This side looks more subtle, more smoky, normal. Well, this side is really harsh. And as well, I didn't prime this eyelid, so the color on this lid is very patchy and it's sticking to certain places of my skin. Like you can see this patch right here where the shadow just didn't pick up. I'm gonna use Pink Champagne by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I just really want to pat that on the lid over here. When you put a shimmery shade on the lid, you always need to go back and blend that shimmery shade in with the matte. I'm taking that same transition shade and I'm putting that all in my crease and right on that area of the lid, just so the glitter doesn't look that harsh and it melts in the rest of the shadow. Now I'm going to put that shimmer shade on the don't side. We're just gonna swipe that on as well and then dab it a little bit. I didn't go back in with another shadow to blend out like that V shape right there, like the outer corners, just put the glimmer on it. So the next step in this look is to highlight the inner corners and the brow bone. I usually go with the highlight that I'm using that day and I highlight those areas. I take the highlighter that I like, which is the Makeup Forever. I'm gonna put that just in the high points of my brow. And now for the don't side. I feel like people like to use really intense highlighting colors for the brow bone, which I don't think is flattering unless it's a certain kind of look you're going for, if you're trying to do something for Halloween. If you really just want something neutral and to match your skin tone, but it's not too light that it's gonna look stark and white on your skin. So now we're gonna be doing foundation. Just one of the most common tips when you're doing your foundation, get something that's gonna match your neck, at least. When you have a really dark foundation on your face and a lighter body, or if you have a really light foundation on your face and a darker body, people can tell you're wearing makeup. It gives you that really harsh line. It just doesn't look natural and it shows more cake that you're wearing. I'm just gonna be dotting this all over my face. I'm just gonna be using a stippling brush and just punching that shit into my skin. As you can see for yourself, normal Kim, my skin tone. And now this side, I look like I rolled in a bag of Cheetos or I got some makeup tips from Donald Trump. No. If you want to avoid this step, get foundation that matches your neck body color. Now this is one don't that I absolutely hate. And this is having really bright under eye concealer. Some people, they just put a really, really light concealer that just doesn't complement their skin tone, or it's just way too light for them underneath the eye. And then when you try to blend it out, it just looks scary and you look like you have two white triangles underneath. It's not flattering whatsoever. It doesn't highlight your face naturally or the way it should be, in my opinion. On my do side, I always like to use two concealers. I like to use the Tarte Shape Tape. I just like dot a little bit there, a little bit above there, on the side of my nose, and I'll just put a little right there. It's always important to highlight your face in even areas. And then I'll use creamy concealer right underneath. I'm just gonna blend that out with my beauty blender. So on this side, I already concealed. I blended out with a beauty blender and it just, look a little bit lighter. My places on my face are highlighted and it doesn't look harsh and scary. Now we're gonna use concealer on this side. Just using my Age Rewind Maybelline. Like, it looks bad. Like, why would you do this to yourself? And when you use a really light concealer on your skin, the texture shows up so much more. So the next part of the makeup routine is bronzing, contouring if you'd like, blush, and highlight. So when I contour, I use something very cool toned, something that's not gonna make you look orange. Ignore the nastiness of my pan, but this is the Duo from the Instamark Mirage Filter number 40. Lightly do this in this area, right in the cheeks. I don't like to bring it all the way down. I really just like to focus it up here. Like, do you see how it's like very cool tone? You know what I mean? It's not orange, because orange is gonna make me look like this. I like to contour under the neck, on the jawline. This step just helps bring life back into your face. It slims your face down if that's what you're looking for as well. Also like to do it on the forehead right here. And sometimes when I feel like I've contoured my face, but it's not as sharp as I'd like, I like to go in and bake it with a beauty blender. Some translucent setting powder that is flashback free. So you're not gonna get a flashback with this powder, the Laura Mercier. And I like to go and drag that down to my jawline, all the way down, because it's gonna make a sharper line for the contour. It can go all over the jaw in this area and it just doesn't look like a contour. It just looks muddy and honestly it can look like you just smeared some pig shit all over that side of your face. We're gonna contour this side of the face. I'm gonna be using this shade from the Contour Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now this contour is not bad for some people, but this has more orange tones in it. So let's just start. Probably won't even be able to see it because my face is already orange. Can't forget that jawline. So we are back from contouring and this is what I have going on this side. Very muddy, very orange, rough. And this side, a little bit more defined, fused, natural. When I use blush, I tend to use colors that are very nude, neutral. I like to use colors like these that are very like neutral shades for blush and don't have so much shimmer in them, like this one. And this is where a lot of people can go wrong with blush, is how much you use and how heavy you are with it. Regardless if it's a really light tone or very dark and vibrant like red. It's like And I like to like lightly push it back into my face. I never just want to pack it on right in the front. I just lightly bring it back. Blush is meant to add some color back into your skin, so now I'm going to show you what to not do with blush. There's so many pretty colors, like really bright, vibrant pinks, like this shade right here. It's a beautiful shade, but you have to know how to work with it. You can't pack it on because you're going to look like a clown and you're going to star in the new It movie. Do you see that? All that color right there? I would typically tap it off if I went that heavy with it and start going with a light hand, but I'm going to show you what to not do, so we're gonna do the opposite of that. Do you see, like in 2, 3 swipes? And also bring the blush low on your face. It makes your face look droopy. It just makes my face look saggy and sad. When you put blush on, you're supposed to kind of like sweep it up and it's supposed to lift your face. This just makes me look sad. So now we're gonna do highlighter. I feel like highlighter is a very personal thing to everyone. Some people like very soft, diffused. Some people like it in your face. But for me, I like it both ways, but it's the color that counts. There's a lot of like pretty weird colored highlighters like blue, pink, purple, and they can look good on you. You just have to apply them a certain way or your skin tone kind of has to match with that color, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna start to lightly put that on the high points of my cheek. You never wanna bring highlight underneath your eyes or farther past like this area. And I also like to bring it up above my eyebrow, especially where the arch is, because it like lifts the eyebrow up a little bit more too. I also like to highlight above my lip. So now we're gonna be highlighting on the don't side. Like I was saying before, colored highlights can be so beautiful, but they can do you so dirty if they just don't match you or you don't apply them properly. What I'm talking about is colors like this. Beautiful, but it has that pink undertone in it. Maybe when my skin gets lighter as the seasons continue on, but currently it's not gonna look good. That's harsh. It also just adds a white stripe on my face. When I look at myself, I just want to throw up. Mascara. It depends what kind of lashes you have. Sometimes people have curled lashes already and they just want length. Some people have long lashes, they just want them to be thicker because they're very thin. So they get a more volumizing mascara. My personal problem is my lashes don't really curl. They just stick out straight. And I think a lot of people have this issue. I want them to have length. I want them to have volume. I want them to have everything. But some mascaras work better than others. So on this side, I'm going to be using my favorite mascara, which is the Benefit Roller Lash. Put a little bit of that on the bottom too to even them out. And now the don't side. This mascara I absolutely hate, and this is the NARS Audacious Mascara. It does nothing for my lashes. The formula is really wet. It gets everywhere. It doesn't curl them. Applying that, I find it gets really clumpy too. You can just tell this side of mascara, the lashes are curled up, they're not thick, they're not clumpy, they give me that length and they just flare out very nicely. While this side looks like spider leg clumpy mess. It just doesn't look cute. Now finally, we're going to do the lips. Lips are last, so my do's for lips. Always moisturize your lips, especially if you're gonna go in with a matte liquid lipstick. So I'm just gonna be using a liquid lipstick, which is on the matter side. But I'm going to be using my favorite, I think I wear this every single video I film, using Ofra Cosmetics Bel Air. This color is not too dark, not too light, just right, said the Goldilocks. And then on top of that, I'm just going to use a clear gloss because I want more of a juicy lip look today than matte. So now that I have this side, we're going to go back to the don't. A definite don't for lipstick is getting a color that is way too light for you and it makes you look washed out. It's like putting foundation concealer over your lips and then just putting a gloss on it. It's not cute. It washes you out. It makes you look dead and it's not flattering. That's not a nice nude lipstick. So to show you, I'm gonna use Strange Magic by Marc Jacobs. It's just a lipstick. It's really pink. Do you see that? That looks like duck lips. That is the don't for lips, and this is the do. So this concludes my makeup do's and don'ts. These are once again my personal tips and tricks on what is good makeup and what is bad makeup to me. I hope this video kind of helped you out a little bit. I have definitely made all these mistakes in the past when learning how to do makeup, and really the key word here is learning. You know, once you do more makeup, you start playing with it a little bit more, you learn more and you get better at it because thank God. I hope this video was helpful or at least made you laugh because I look like a joke over here. How he should treat you versus how he actually treats you. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. And remember, sub it if you love it. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. If I was like, Vanessa, like if I truly sincerely loved this side of my makeup, would you ever tell me?
I'd tell you. I'd tell you straight up. I'd be like, your fucking makeup's bad.
But what if I never changed it? You still would tell me?
Then I guess I'd have to do your makeup for you. Fuck that.
You know what? I think it's nice. I'm gonna start doing my makeup like this. I'm gonna start putting tutorials on my channel like this.
You look like a clown. I don't know what
Hey, Georgie.
Hi, Georgie.
I really want McDonald's.
Stop. Why do you say things like that?
If I went to McDonald's right now, they'd be like, Ronald, is that you? Ronald McDonald? Ew, I hate myself. Especially this side of myself. This is the first thing you see when you go to hell.